this actually can go in the podcast. Just this part. Make a loud noise. The thing that you have to do in order to make a relationship survive is that you have to be friends before you start fucking and then fall in love and get married and stuff. You have to be friends. You have to know that you can be friends first, because being friends is the most important thing if you're gonna spend the rest of your goddamn motherfucking life with somebody, right? If you're really gonna, like, that's why, like, whatever, you know, like Tinder relationships or, you know, online bullshit or whatever, that it actually works better than if you, like, meet somebody at a bar and then you have sex and then you start dating and then you get married, right? That kind of shit works better because you know what the other person's like first. You know stuff about them that they wouldn't, like, that's maybe hidden on a first date or on a date, because you don't know if that person likes this or that or what, you know what I mean? Right. And so once the fucking rose-colored glasses wear off of something that started that way, right? It's like all that's left is like, oh god, I find this annoying about you, and that annoying about you, and this part sucks.
Well, I feel like there's all kinds of things we could talk.
I feel like there's not a lot of things, but here's one thing that I did want to talk about that happened yesterday, because of specifically how much the whole thing happened, either yesterday or Tuesday. It was one 24-hour day.
Yeah.
I think it was yesterday, maybe the day before, where the Russian government was going to be overthrown by the head Nazi Wagner Group Nazi.
It's basically the Russian version of the Taliban. It's like equivalent.
The SS, like the Freikorps, or like the Einsatzgruppen or something, like the Russian elite military hate group.
Yeah, it's like the not establishment paramilitary, like right-wing radicals who are usually friendly with the establishment, but this time not, or whatever. And yeah, so apparently they like struck a deal right before they like got to fucking wherever.
So here's the gossip, okay? So if anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about, because that's the interesting thing, is that there could be a whole swath of people who just didn't go on the internet for one day, 2 days ago, or whatever.
Yeah, basically yesterday morning, which was Sunday. It happened on Sunday. Sunday morning, it was like, Wagner Group, this paramilitary group that's been doing a lot of, basically like, they're like the equivalent of our, what is it? Is it Black Water? The fucking...
It could be like, Blackwater or whatever.
The guys who go over there and they're doing military type shit in like Iraq, but they're not.
They're military contractors.
Yeah, military contractors. So the Wagner Group is sort of like that for the Russian government.
But they're Nazis.
But they're also
clear. And this is what's so funny about it. All right, so they start marching backward, right? In early Sunday morning, or whatever the fuck time it is. Halfway around the world, almost all the way around the world.
They start start driving towards wherever
Moscow.
I think that's where. Or either that or some other major city that's like whatever. They were headed towards the Kremlin eventually, right? Yeah.
and they got to a certain place where it was like, oh, they're definitely going backwards. We don't know, like, and it was like, and very quickly the internet jumped on it and was like, here it comes. The Russian Civil War is about to begin again, right? They're going to depose Putin. The nuclear threat just went up by 1 million, right? Because if you corner a rat, right, then by any means necessary, right? It's like that's whatever. It's like I think that Putin's instinct for self-preservation trumps, like, you know, killing a shitload of people. Obviously, actually, that's pretty obvious.
Everything would be probably worse if the Wagner Group actually said coup attempt or whatever.
Right, but people on the internet were going nuts. All the like Ukraine flag people that are still doing that haven't gotten bored. They're like, oh man, this is the end of the war, right? All of the other people who were watching it, right, who like actually were looking at it, like one of the groups I'm in was just like, all right, what the fuck is this? What do you think is? Everybody here's the thread to put your opinions in. We're only going to talk about it here. Don't fucking, whatever. Don't post more shit about this. It was like very clear that some moderator was like, all right, just fucking put it right here so that we can all shut up, please. Because and it was like, there's a bunch of people that were like, there's a bunch of people that with fucking anime avatars and fucking, like fat guys that were like, all the opinions were already there, right? And so I said, aren't they Nazis? One. Number two, I don't know anything, but I'm pretty sure they're Nazis. And that can't be good, but it's also not exactly bad. Like, it's like, that's where it was like, it's like, look, I'm hedging all my bets because I don't know shit, right? But I'm putting a provocative statement out there so that somebody who might know something will tell me, right? And so I got a whole bunch of shit that was like, 100% they are Nazis. Like, but 100% they're Nazis, but like, honestly, they're the only people that are fighting, right? They're the only people that are good at fighting in the whole Russian army, right? All the entire Russian army is like conscripted. They're running out of fucking everything.
Well, you know why that is? It's all of the like military action that Russia has done in the past like 20 years. They have used the Wagner Group guys as like the frontline people. So they're the ones with all the experience. The actual Russian military, like official military people, this Ukraine action is probably the first real action they've seen. And so, yeah, the Wagner guys, this is not our first rodeo. We've been doing Crimea, we've been doing all this other shit. Syria, we've been doing this
in the Donbass since fucking 2014. But this is the thing, right? So then eventually I found somebody posted a YouTube video that the Wagner Group guy made. And I don't know when he did this, right? It might have been earlier, right? Because like, I don't, all this shit was all coming out at the same time. I watched like a couple YouTube videos about it. I watched something else by another guy who like was just happened to be making a YouTube video about this sort of subject, but then like it happened while he was editing the video, so it was like whatever, he was like, I don't know what's going on, but at some point I saw a YouTube video that this Wagner guy was basically like, all you bitch ass bitches over there in the Kremlin, and your children aren't, your children are all making gay TikToks and fucking, you're all just being on YouTube, and this is all bullshit, and you guys aren't fighting, right? Which, like, Nazi or not, I mean, he's right about that, I'm sure, right? Because it does seem like this was a stupid idea for everyone involved. And the last thing that anybody in Russia wants to do is fight the Ukrainians with American backing, right? Like the Russians are no, I don't want to fucking go die for no reason in a whatever. Like, who cares? Who cares? Again, back to my point, which still stands. I was being a little flippant before and being like, Ukraine's just Russia, so whatever, it doesn't matter, right? But it's also like, Ukraine is just Ukraine too, right? it doesn't matter on the other side also. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Why would you fight to have Ukraine be Russia when it's almost Russia already? Like, who cares? Just be friends. What the fuck is wrong with you? Right? Have a pact. What the fuck? Or like, make a deal, you idiots. What the fuck are you fighting about? Right?
I think it comes down
American proxy war, you moron. Why would you get sucked into that shit?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it has to do with the fact that, U.S. presidents would not have been doing all kinds of meetings and deals with Ukraine, whatever, corrupt business practices and all kinds of shit. So Russia don't like that. Like, they're like, I don't like these Americans, like, coming over and shaking hands with all no. Like, that's our area.
That's just
like the United States has the Monroe Doctrine.
It'd be like them going to Canada. It'd be like the Russians going to Canada and be like, hey, Canada, we're like, you guys are great. Okay, you guys are super great. We wish we could add you to the Warsaw Pact, but we can't because the Warsaw Pact has been dead since the Soviet Union fell, 40 years? But you guys are really cool and we really like you, right? And in the United States, instead of going like, oh, okay, well, cool, then that means that Canada can act as the conduit between the two of us, and so that means we don't have this is why I know that it's a bunch of geriatric morons running everything. Okay, because the thing to do if the United States is cozying up to Ukraine, okay, the thing to do if you're Russia is go, hey, cool, Ukraine, look, you guys are getting cozier with the United States. Great. That means that we can still say, fuck the United States. And the United States can still say, fuck Russia. But then in Ukraine, we can do all the secret business that keeps everybody afloat and keeps everybody rich and keeps everybody from, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like, the rich Russians and the rich Americans.
Yeah, we'll just use Ukraine as like the place to fucking do all the stuff that they don't want us to do in the daylight.
Yeah, that's basically how it worked from like the mid 90s.
And this was the problem. Like, I don't understand. Like, what the fuck? If we're gonna, why are we doing the stupidest version of capitalism if we're gonna have to do capitalism? Right? I don't get it. Isn't this about business? Like, I'm still under the impression of the network thing, right? There are no countries. There's only AT&T and ITT and Union Carbide, the speech from Network, right? Where it's like, there's no nationalities. What the fuck? Are you nuts? Right? Yeah. It's like, so what the fuck is this nationalist war that's been going on for 2 years? Like,
yeah. I'm with you. It's like, it seems like a huge waste of life and resources, like a waste of a already fucked up economy.
And Russia is getting, in the capitalist sense, Russia is getting fucked. And their capitalists, their oligarchs and whatever, are getting squeezed. And why would that happen? Right? I thought that's what they were for. I thought the same way that like the fucking, whatever, the CEOs of like the banks and stuff, would rather kill a U.S. president than fucking, than have a higher marginal tax rate or capital gains or whatever, right? Like, I thought that's what the fuck, are the Russians aren't like that too? You mean the Russians are fucking more patriotic? Get the fuck out of here! I don't buy it.
Well, like, I don't know if it's not patriotic so much as it is imperialism.
Or Putin has more power than he should.
And he wants more, and like, yeah, it's a two. To him, it was like, why wouldn't I invade? I can take over all of their resources, and they have pretty rich, and they have a lot of grain exporting and other thing, oil and stuff. I mean, they take all that shit.
The dam that where all of it is, like, that's the other thing. It's whatever, the fucking somebody blew that dam up, and why would it be Ukraine? Although, never mind, wait a minute, that was us. That was CIA shit. That just dawned on me.
I don't know who it was, but I mean,
who benefits? Who benefits? This is the golden rule.
That.
We do. Wheat producers in the United States, and other places where there's grain.
Well,
Right? Those are the people that benefit. And guess who fucking runs that shit for the rest of the world? The goddamn motherfucking CIA. I swear to God. You can play 6 rounds of Kevin Bacon, but Kevin Bacon's the CIA, and you only need 2 rounds.
Yeah, any world event, and the CIA is connected like by 1.5.
I mean, they are.
All right, I got an article from the Daily.
All right, let's see what the Brits had to say.
Awkward. Ron DeSantis has to be told when to smile by advisors who are now desperate to get him talking with more voters after gaffes derailed his 2024 launch.
I mean, he's so bad at this.
Smile in 3, 2, 1. Smile. All right, you can stop.
No, and his smiles are weird, and it's like he's just. It's like I took that photo that you sent me, and I like posted it, and I was like, look, I want to try to take the new face of fascism in America seriously. But this is what it looks like. So I can't, right? Like, so I can't. I'm sorry, I can't. You can't convince me that this guy's some kind of threat, right? Like, it's like, I feel like you could poke him to death. You know what I mean? You just be like, man, and he'd be like, oh, stop me, what are you doing? Like, it's like, he doesn't seem threatening, right? His voice, his fucking whole attitude, the weird head shake thing that he did in Japan that I swear to God I thought was fake. I thought that was fake. Well, I thought that somebody made it up. Oh, well, like, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, this is the strong man? Like, this is the guy? Like, I understand, like, I thought, never mind, I did think that about Trump, too. I guess all fascists are just fucking gay, right? Like, they're just secretly, underneath it all, gay. Because, like, Trump was gay enough, right? Like, Trump's like, oh, Greg Carter, and they didn't invite me to the Vanity Fair party. Like, gay shit.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, like, but like, his favorite things in the world are, like, musicals and shit. It's like, what, like, gay. Right?
Phantom of the Opera, of
gay
course.
By
amazing,
any
of course.
Standard. Like, by any just, like, dude. Like, believe me, I know a lot of dudes. A lot of dudes. A lot of straight dudes. Right? And how the fuck any of them are like, yeah, Trump's based. It's, dude, have you ever listened to him talk? Come on. Right? And DeSantis is like even worse. Right? It's like he's even more. Yeah, sugar man. Like he's like a little weasel man. And I don't understand how that's not, you can't. No, I don't buy it.
So you see, in Florida, we're not letting the mentally ill take over the country. Like,
we can't have that woke mind virus to come in. It's like but fuck off. Like, and I could see how you could get away with that in Florida, right? Because Florida is a stupid place. Of all the things that Florida is, stupid is like very much the bar, like the big part, And he squeaked by the fucking guy that whatever, like he was like using campaign funds to like do drugs in other countries or some shit. I don't remember all the details of that, but there was a scandal with him too and shit and like all of it, right? And just the idea of like, there's no fucking way that somebody from Florida can be the president of the whole country. There's no, you can't. Because at the very least, even if you like Florida, you have to admit that it is not like any other place.
The only way that would work is if the Florida governor, the theoretical Florida governor, not Ron DeSantis, someone else, was like, just totally embodied California, Hawaii beach vibes but Florida style.
Like Obama, right? Yeah, like Obama did.
But the Florida version, I guess. I think it could possibly work, but Ron DeSantis is not that. He is the guy that you run into at the used Nissan dealership. Like,
see, used car
in like middle Florida. No, we want like a Florida who more Hawaii, California vibe. That kind of Floridian win.
No, and that kind of fascism I could see working. Like it's like Matthew McConaughey.
I'm not saying fascist at all. It could be a centrist liberal guy. I'm just saying, like, you got to have the vibe of, like, if you're going to be a Florida guy, if you're going to be a Florida man, then you should at least be like photographed with your shirt off most of the time, drinking Coronas.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Living life.
Let that motherfucker take his shirt off. Go ahead. It'll ruin it. It'll have 0% in no time. I still don't get how the fucking boomers or whoever the fuck these freaks are don't have the leave me alone as number one, because leave me alone as number one is actually not that bad, right? Leave me alone as an American, as the number one American policy is not that bad. It's not that bad. It's like, you know, look, whatever, leave me alone. Like, you know, taxes, leave me alone. Or, you know, who I fuck, leave me alone. What race I am, leave me alone. Right? What religion I am, leave me alone. Right? That's
the problem is right? You get the leave me alone, but fuck you and your ex-wife. That's the fuck.
But leave me alone.
When you pair those two together, that shit. Yeah, because it's like, no, like you can't have it both ways. It's like you let people be who they want to be and do what they want to do, or you set up an authoritarian theocracy that dictates.
No, and because like, it turned into leave my kids alone, right? Which was a smart move on there, right? Because but it's still, the fundamental thing is like, then keep your kids away from it, whatever it is, right? Like it's like the onus should be on you. They're your kids, right? What the fuck am I don't have anything to do with your kids. They're your kids. You fucking deal with them. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't have kids. But here's what I would say to someone who does have kids. Think about this. If you're worried about your kids being groomed or abused or any of that shit, maybe think about statistically what's more likely to happen. You taking them to a church youth pastor and dropping them off and saying, have fun after. and yeah. Versus them happen to be like walking by a fucking, you know, outdoor performance of a drag fest. Which one are they more likely to experience some sort of traumatic?
If you think that your kid being around drag queens is going to turn them into a drag queen, fucking don't bring them around drag queens, man. It's not hard, right? No one's making you. It's the same thing with abortion, right? Oh, you don't, you know, you're pro-life, anti-abortion, then don't get one. Fuck you. Like, it's like, that's, you know, but no one's making you do any of this shit. Like and if you have a problem with your family between those two things, if your kid doesn't agree with you and you're blah, 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 then guess what? Leave me alone is the fucking trump card, right? Well, always.
Yeah, exactly. What I was getting at is that, like, if you are trying to dictate this and that as far as medical and all this stuff, and like, shit, I lost me.
No, it's like, it's this, you know, whatever. Oh, we're banning gender affirming care for minors. Okay. Well, why? Because at the end of the day, no minor is going to get gender affirming care without somebody dropping them off at the fucking, you know, it's somebody picking up the medications, somebody paying for this, whatever. It's like, it's a fucking cop out for not having to pay attention to your kids, right? Oh, if you don't want that to happen, then fucking watch your kids then pay attention. They're your kids. You fucking made them. They're not my problem, right? Like, now, it's like, is it what? And in public school, it's like whatever. Oh, the thing where it's like, oh, you have to out your kids to like their parents because their parents deserve to know. Blah blah blah. It's like, bro, if your kid tells their teacher that they're gay, but they don't tell you, then that is your fault, asshole. Right?
Yeah.
Like
that means
it's like that ain't got.
You have created an environment where they are afraid to tell you that.
Well, and it's the last person whose fault it is a gay teacher, right? A gay teacher is not gay. Fucking gay teachers are walking on fucking eggshells. Okay, ain't nobody pushing a gay agenda on your kids, right? Like it's like that's insane, right? But public school is for everyone, for all of the people, right? And so that means fucking everybody, dude. And you don't like your kids being everybody? Then fork over the money to send them to a Christian school. Then that way, fucking then that way they can fucking come out as trans, and then when never mind. I shouldn't.
You've heard recently, I'm sure, that the number one cause of death among youth right now is gun violence, and the right wing counter to that is, oh no, actually it's abortion. It's like, really?
Okay.
That's your argument? Is like,
so you count fetuses too? Okay, well, how many of them are there?
You count the fetuses that were not.
You count zygotes and shit. Okay, well then, what are we talking about? All right, we're talking about like hundreds of thousands. Okay, fine. Right, like asshole. Okay,
it's like the same thing as like the death count. All right, well, let's start adding up the death count of capitalism. Oh shit. 10 years and we're already past the death count of communism. Oh, no, and adding up all 40, 50 years.
No, and it's also like, I'll give you, hey, buddy, I will give you all of the fucking old people dying of old age that happened under communism, like you do, like you guys like to add in there. I'll say we won't even count them, right? We will just count direct war, killing over capitalism. Okay, but just no. It's like this is a purely ideological thing. We're already fucking. Well, when do we have to start? Well, I guess we have to start in like the 1700s. Yes,
but I mean,
okay.
even if you start like post World War II, count every year since then, how many people have died of capital, and compare that to how many people have died under communists.
It's not even close.
It's not even close.
It's so dumb. That whole thing, and it's so dumb, and it's like I can't. Every time I try to like engage somebody in, in like a way where it's like, okay, because I don't have any illusions about like changing anyone's mind, right? But I do. The reason why I engage people in this is because I want to know what they think. I want to know how they got themselves to this position, and then see if I can just be like, but fuck you, you're wrong, right? And then fuck you, you're wrong with numbers, right? Fuck you, you're wrong with fucking not even data. It's just like, here are my feelings too, you fucking idiot. Like, it's not, we can both do this, right? We can both do this thing where we just make shit up and fucking, but it feels correct, right? Yeah, I can do that just so infinitely as much as you can, right? So like, okay, and just see where it just crumbles into like, well, you're a fucking fuck you faggot, you're a communist, like it's like that. The quicker that I can make someone mad about this and make them start like fucking losing their minds, like, you know, screaming at me by their, you know, they're breaking their computer with how hard they're typing, right? Like, is fucking like, it's shocking, right? It's shocking how flimsy it is and how much it's working, right? And I just don't get it. I don't. It's like it's a level of burying your head in the sand and being fucking stupid in the first place that is unlike anything I've ever seen. And I lived through the fucking Bush era, man. And I lived through the fucking Bush era, man. And I lived through the fucking Bush era, man. And I lived through the fucking Bush era, man.